Okay, hello there. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome back to A Guy in His Room, where we fight the good fight every week, and we fight misinformation on all fronts. Just in case you don't know what misinformation can harm you and your family. Every day, your family is at danger of misinformation killing you and your loved ones. Fight misinformation every chance you get. Listen to us because we tell you what is misinformation. You might not think what it is. You might not know what you might not know what misinformation is, but if you listen to us then we tell you what misinformation really is. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I'm doing like a mix of a bad Australian and a bad British accent. Um, so, yep, I just got out of the shower, everybody. Just, just want to turn you guys on a little bit. Just got out of the shower. Where I was nude. And, got the New York Post tab open. I don't know why I always go on this site. It's just kind of like it's like a tabloid slash news slash like. I mean, it's probably not neutral, but I just feel like it's not as like propagandized as like if I went on CNN.com or something. But I think it's like more right wing. But I don't know. I don't really know. A lot of this is just like tabloid type headlines. But had this open. Look, looks like another con man swindled women. What is it? It's always a guy that is a con man swindling women, like on that Tindler Swindler or something it was called on Netflix. I didn't watch it, but I just heard about this guy that was getting. How do guys do that? Where you get money from women? I mean, that's such a weird. Because you always hear. There's always like spam fake women on like sites and stuff. But and then sometimes they'll ask for money or they'll be on like a webcam site and it'll be a fake thing. And it's usually really obvious cuz like right away they're like do you want to get off this app and text me at this number? And it's like no one does that right away. Or they message. First of all, if a girl messages you first, unless it's like Bumble or something, I mean, sometimes they will. I guess that's not really an indicator. I guess it's once they ask you to get off the app that is the giveaway. You know what? I have to admit here, I kind of think I'm in similar shape as Zelensky. He's not very like fit. He's just kind of. I mean, I don't know. Would you call him fit? I'm kind of like the same. He looks like me, except. I mean, maybe he is, and I can't tell. But I don't know. His arms are like the size of mine. I don't. And he's always wearing like a shitty T-shirt. Like, I mean, I already said that in another episode, but anyway. So his daughter exposed this guy, Grant Greentree. Sounds like a character name. Doesn't sound like a real guy's name. Has conned multiple women out of thousands of dollars. Oh, he's from Australia. I actually didn't know that. I was doing a bad accent not knowing that. Oh, I was a prop for him. So he's a sociopath. He's a narcissist, whatever. He was love bombing. I mean, obviously it's like a guy that hits all the marks that women want, I guess. And I just don't get this. Man, I really want to meet up. Can you send me like $33,000? Why would you send a guy $33,000? Why? Oh man, getting foreclosed, and I guess he used his daughter. He was like, fuck me and my daughter. I mean, this guy looks like a politician. I bet you politicians would do this. Anyway, enough of that. I didn't even mean to talk about this. It just caught my eye. Oh, wow, look. He actually met his new bride, Kim, on Bumble, which I just mentioned. I forget what I was going to talk about. Maybe look, I hate this. I can't wait for them to break up. I can't wait for a divorce. Courtney and Travis Barker are going to get divorced soon. I forget what I was going to talk about. Well, I was talking about, we have to combat misinformation. And, what is misinformation, you might be asking? Well, anything that the White House doesn't want out there. I mean, we do have a new deadly disease out there that we have to combat. Monkeypox, everybody. I don't know if you guys heard, but monkeypox is ravaging everyone who's having anal sex. Monkeypox is coming for you. You know what's funny about this is, like, now we're not allowed to, like, say anything. Like, look at this. The UN denounces homophobic
and racist reporting on monkeypox spread. Portrayals of cases among African and LGBTI. Does anybody
know what the fuck the I is?
People feeling blame. We have to really, like, the most important thing to do right now is monkeypox with this is reduce the stigma. Okay? Like, that's the number one thing, is we don't want people to think if something is actually
being contracted by gay people, we don't want people to even say that, because that's reinforcing stigma. As what? How is that that's a stigma? If you say it's a stigma, you're being homophobic. Like, oh yeah, obviously gay guys, everybody knows they get monkeypox. And I didn't know the African people were getting it. I just heard the gay thing. Now, they're saying everybody can get it. But if they've got it, are you not supposed to, like, there's no end to this, like, just coddling mentality that we've been in for years now. There's no end to it. There's nothing you can do. You can't discuss real facts anymore. You can't go, well, it looks like 10 homosexual men got monkeypox. Because somebody will then go,
excuse me? Why are you being homophobic? Why are you increasing stigma and stereotypes? So what if gay men enjoy getting monkeypox?
I didn't say that. Why are you saying,
You insinuated that gay men like fucking monkeys in the ass.
No, I never said that. Actually, you just put that thought in my head now. I didn't even think about that.
No. Dog whistle. Dog whistle. Homophobia.
I thought Biden said that the smallpox vaccine works against it, but now it says no treatment exists. But the symptoms usually clear up in 2 to 4 weeks. The disease is considered endemic in 11 African nations. Okay, so that fact right there, you're not allowed to say? Because it's, look, if there's something that's in Africa, can you just not say,
Can you just, like, not say that? Just, like, don't even say the word Africa. Like, that has a stigma associated with it. And also, can you just not, I don't know, just don't, like, no, just don't, can you just not point out anything about anyone except for white people. It's okay to say white.
And you know what's really, I mean, just unbelievably disgusting the way the media was like saying that Buffalo shooter represented like just regular conservatives. Like Rolling Stone said that. Like, can you imagine saying that about anything else? Like, I mean, I guess everybody in Congress is a coward and does nothing about anything because, like, that's fucking crazy. Somebody should have been sued for that. I mean, unless that was a fake. I have to look it up now to see if it's real. Yeah, okay, here it is. Oh God, you can definitely tell by looking at this person. They're an extremist. I mean, yeah, you can definitely tell by looking at them. Is this a? I guess it's not a guy. I don't. Yeah, this is an extremist here. She wrote, he or she, I don't. You can't even like guess anymore. Wrote a book about my journey into the dark web of white supremacy. So you're just looking for it at that point. She wrote a headline that said, "The Buffalo shooter is a mainstream Republican." I can't believe you would be able to say that. I mean, everybody has these extremists in their company at this point. It's not surprising. I mean, you can hate Republicans or whatever, but like saying a shooter is I mean, oh my God. Oh, apparently she was, she falsely accused of an ICE agent of having a Nazi tattoo. Wow. She had a journalism class in NYU, but it was canceled because only 2 people signed up. Oh my God. Well, you know. Anyway, I didn't mean to get political, but it's pretty interesting. I mean, I'm just like done with all this shit. I'm done with media talking about diseases now. I'm just done. You know what's great though is Johnny Depp, and I just want to hear more about him, man. You know what I'm sick of? Like, I mean, I think, like I talked about before, Amber seems crazy or whatever, but everybody acting like Jack Sparrow is like so awesome. Like those movies. Oh, I think I talked about that too. But yeah, he wasn't like, that's his least memorable role for me. Like, I don't like those movies. He played like a dumb, goofy guy and like drunk. That's it. It took like probably no effort by him. There's no way he was into making those. He was probably like, that was definitely his drug money, those movies. I mean, nobody, playing like just a drunk pirate. I mean, how much effort went into that? Everybody acting like dude, he was so good as Jack Sparrow. Like, what are you talking about? Like, at least, like, name his good movies. This is just so fucked up, man. This person that only got 2 signups for her class is writing for Rolling Stone, and linked all these people to the Buffalo shooter. Like, I don't understand why they get away with just accusing everybody of everything. Like, everybody acts like it's just fine to just call someone a Nazi, to call someone a racist, to say they caused the shooting or whatever. Like, that's fine if you're one of these extremist people. I mean, I would never speak to someone again if they labeled me as something like that. Like, if anyone labels you, like, it is so, like, evil. I mean, these people are evil villains. I mean, those Comicsgate guys that I talked about before talk about that too. Like, and I was kind of, I mean, these type of like extremist people, they act like they're sticking up for like a cause or whatever. And I realized, like, I was watching This old Batman cartoon that was on in the 90s, the animated series Batman. I just watched a few episodes, and one they had like Poison Ivy, and she's like a modern woke SJW person. Like that's what she is. Like her character is an activist that went to dark, she's someone like this writer that says a mainstream Republican. She links this author. She links a bunch of. She just says everyone who's a Republican caused this guy to go shoot up a grocery store. Like, you should be fired. You should never work again you should just be fired at least. I mean, everybody. It's like you don't want to also do cancel culture on someone that does it. But like, you shouldn't work for Rolling Stone, that's for sure. You should have your own independent extremist thing. I mean, but the company, like, you get what you deserve if you hire somebody like this. I mean, they are poisonous people, Poison Ivy. I mean, Poison Ivy. I'm just going to look this up so you guys know the lore. You got to know the lore. The DC character, Poison Ivy. She was a biochemist and a botanist who has, gets powers from the plants, and she uses it for the purposes of eco-terrorism. You know what she is? She's Antifa, except Poison Ivy. She's she's a supervillain Antifa. This is Antifa. Like, this is the archetype of everybody in Antifa. Okay? Every extremist that gets people canceled, everybody that hates Dave Chappelle, this is you. You're an eco-terrorist. You're, like they have these goals like, oh, look, I'm protecting endangered species and the natural environment from the careless actions of humans. And she was, and look at this, see? She was depicted as an anti-heroine, which I'm sure is recent because she is an SJW person. She's a woke activist. She is a modern Twitter person that gets upset at something. Like, imagine if she was real and she existed now. She would be on Twitter tweeting every time anybody does something to a plant in a show. She'd be very upset at Harvey Weinstein for shooting his load all over a plant. I wonder if anybody's wrote about this before. It might be those guys I talk about that wrote about this. And I know, like, SJWs is like a buzzword. Oh, like Fox News uses it or whatever. But, like, what else do you fucking call them? They do think they're a warrior for social justice, and they do just type online. If there was a better word I could think of, But it's like, oh, I don't want to be afraid to use a word like SJW just because, like, they'll say you're Fox News or they'll say you're, whatever. And I do agree with this, like, anti-SJWs are the new SJWs. I agree with that, too, because, like, a lot of people that hate them will try to get them canceled. It's the same, like, thing, That's why I'm kind of conflicted on the whole Cuties Netflix thing, even though it's, like, disgusting. The main thing is that the actresses should not have been kids in that. I didn't watch the movie. But I'm sure mostly pedophiles watched it. If they would, like, do a graph, it would be mostly sex offenders. If they would do, like, a graph on who exactly watched it, it would probably be many people that are on the Megan's Law website. Many people that are on a site that would show you all the sex offenders in your neighborhood would probably be the Nielsen ratings or whatever it's called. I don't know why no one wrote about this before. See, here, this is what I'm talking about here. This guy.
The term social justice warrior is just a derogatory term that people use for anyone trying to forward opinion they don't like. Yeah, that's probably true, though, actually. Yeah, it's a buzz.
It's a slur now, sort of. But it's like, whatever.
I personally have a problem with the term SJW in the first place. No one knows what it is. You could ask 10 people what's it. Yeah, that's true also.
But like, what do you call them then? What do you call these people? If you just say a woke person, and woke people probably are the person I mean. I mean, woke people are the people that want to cancel everything. But do they even call themselves woke? You know what I mean? Like, does anybody that's canceling someone, do they even call themselves woke? Like, yeah, I'm woke. I'm woke as fuck. You know why? I'll tell you why.
Right side of history. I just want to be on the right side.
Listen, do you want to look back and know that you were not on the right side of history? I was on the right side. You know what you should do with somebody? Next time somebody says, I'm like right side of history, be like, oh, you mean conservative right leaning? Like they'll be like, no.
No! How dare you say right? No, you just said right.
Wait, I mean, look, don't you want to be on the white side of history? Listen, I just want to know that I was on the white side of history, okay? You know, that'll be funny though if somebody says like they want to be on the right side of history, then you just show them one of these pictures. Oh, you mean the white side of... Oh, like this guy, huh? I guess go get your tiki torch and just go around in North Carolina, or wasn't that, or South Carolina? All right, Mr. Tiki Torch. This seems like an FBI setup. Like, these guys all look so... This is like a bad script. Everything lately, I just think is all CIA, FBI. Even the top shooter, I'm like, what's going on? Like, look, okay, I know there's neo-Nazis. I know there's still actual people that are, look at this idiot. He's defending, he's going.
I think that social injustice warriors are a much bigger problem. Social injustice warriors like David Duke, Richard Spencer. And then all these pictures
of the Tiki Torch guys. The Tiki Torch CIA, FBI funded group. I mean, could you look more like you were cast in a movie? Like, well, I guess they would be white guys, obviously. Would they all be the same age? Would they all look the same? I don't know. No talk about the Ukraine Nazis over there, you know, because they're on the right side. They're on the right side of history. We're just gonna ignore all the neo-Nazis, all the guys with actual Nazi symbols on them. In Ukraine, we're just gonna ignore those because Ukraine is the thing right now. They're totally the thing right now. What a loser this guy is.
These are actual justice. You know what?
This is the thing with all these like woke people. Like, you know, he says he's progressive. He goes, some actual social justice warriors are Jesus Christ. What? Are you religious? How does that? It doesn't make any sense. Social justice warriors include Jesus, Martin Luther. Wait. Oh, the Christian guy? Gandhi and Martin Luther King. Okay. But you're putting them in the same group as, you know, people in a BLM march. They're the same. Like, that's the problem with these people. Like, okay, so Gandhi and, you know, Martin Luther King Jr. are in the same camp as just these people. Just these young kids that are marching with BLM signs. Just this girl with a melanin shirt. Like, what have they done other than just gather in a group for, like, Instagram? I mean, you know, it is, don't get me wrong, it's, like, really brave to have a sign that says, like, kids' lives matter. The Million Man March was, like, the same exact thing as people, like, with a BLM sign in Brooklyn. I don't know, the type of people that leave comments on the site, it's like, they just think they're a writer. You know what, that's the problem with, like, these type of sites. Even Yelp is, like, I don't know how to pronounce the name of this site either. Quora? It's like Yahoo Answers. It's the same thing. They just took it over, that whole asking questions thing. Although you can just go on Reddit too. But everybody who's like look at these people like they just think they're like a writer, you know?
Michael Barnard, advisor, Agora, and Electron founder. Like he puts a
headline, he puts like a little description of himself there, like he's somebody, and then he puts all these pictures like, look at me. These are social justice warriors, okay? Yeah, okay, so they're a warrior, they're the same, like, you didn't answer this guy's question either. Like, you're just going, like all these people that are just idiots. Maybe you are feeling defensive about that term. Maybe you're feeling defensive. Why would you be, like, defensive about justice and social justice? It's like, no, we're just talking about canceling and, like, I'm just going to answer this person's question. Like, I don't know. Anyway, you know, like all these sites where you just, like, give opinions. You, like, reply to comments or you just comment. You just people start to think they're, like, somebody. Like, why would you even make this, like, have a profile on this site? My name is Frederick Christie, sociologist and political science scholar. Why would you put that? Like, you're a narcissistic asshole if you make that your... Look at this guy. Looks like a... Look at this guy. Look at this guy. I mean, he is just... He is this website. He calls himself a novelist. Like, he looks like one of those neckbeard guys. I mean, look at this guy. Wow, this is unbelievable. Guy has a fake job, residential counselor. I don't know what that means. Studied at, lives in Grass Valley, California. He's a top writer on Quora, guys. Frederick Christie. Look at how, and he's even, like, doing that pose that those, like, neckbeard, that those, like, internet nerd guys do. Like, he's the, he's kind of that whole, he's an archetype of, like, the male SJW type woke guy. I mean, this guy is like the armchair, you know. I wish I could think of a better term for it, but just like the whole, like, knowing, like, know-it-all guy, neckbeard type of you know, like I mean, he says he's a novelist. He probably, like, yeah, see, my debut novel, which is obviously an independent thing that he's just, like, saying he's a novelist. He probably tells all his coworkers at his job he has a new novel out, and he's, like, always talking about his, like, how he writes. But he's just like a guy on Quora, but he's like, I have to put this in my bio for a fucking... I'm sure he's also on Yelp, and he does this shit on Yelp too, like, really long, like, thinking he's a writer type reviews. Oh my god, this is the type of guy that is ruining society right now. This guy. Okay, well, look, I mean, he says he's worked with victims of sexual trauma and whatever. That's all good if he's actually helped people. But he clearly talks, like he just looks like he talks down to you. And you just know how he would be by looking at this picture. I mean, just, like a beard that's not quite like a beard, just a chin beard. Like it does. You just know how this guy talks. I mean, you just do. Yes, I'm Frederick Christie. Yes, I have a blog at Fred BC, Freelance Hope Warrior. And I've helped a lot of people. Am I a actual? I bet he's not an actual anything. I bet he claims to be an actual psychologist or whatever, but he clearly just is a counselor, which I think that's such a broad term. Like, you can be a counselor probably at like a dorm or something. Look at this. See, this is from 2016, though. I guess he hasn't done this in a while. He wrote a blog about a anti-SJW YouTuber called Armored Skeptic, and this is oh my god, this guy sucks. This guy's oh my god, look at this guy. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to really be mean or whatever. He looks like he can't be 30 even. I mean, I'm an author. Yes, I'm an author. I'm a published author on Amazon.com. I've actually been published on Amazon.com. I'm a writer on WordPress.com. I've been published by WordPress. Yes. Yes, if you want to be pedantic, the accurate thing to say would be that America was vanishingly really great for anyone besides white men. And who's a white guy? This guy, Fred BC. Frederick Christie. So his name's Fred, but for some reason he's calling himself Frederick. And yes, I can only grow a beard out of my chin, but that is okay. That is an elegant look. Very Shakespearean, if I do say so. My debut novel, Soul Surgeon, has been completed, and my projects Ancient Steam Saint, John Nova, and Grand Cosmos are in progress, yes. Sometimes I dip my beard in soup, and I'll just kind of let it simmer in there. And then later on, I'll forget it's in there, and I'll just kind of sop it up and eat it later. I just save it in there. My beard, if you can call it that. It is a little bit, this guy looks like he's in middle school. This guy I mean, what? This guy can't be over 23 or something. This guy, I get a lot of girls. Yeah, this guy gets laid, man. No, I don't mean to be like a douche or whatever. But you can tell this guy is one of those guys that's like a male feminist and he's creepy to women. There's no way he's not like that. There's just no way. This is the person I'm thinking of when I say people that think they're clever on websites and Reddit and Yelp or whatever. Just I'm an opinionated guy. I mean, I've known way too many people like this. It's like an office character. It's just the worst type of person. They think they're smarter than they are, and they're just not smart. Just I'm a writer, and I write novels that no one reads, so that means I'm like a writer, okay? I mean, I guess he hasn't done anything on here in a year, so I don't know what happened. Maybe he actually got a life or something. Oh, God, look at how long he writes on here. I was going to try to read one, but this is 3 pages long here. And he gets 1 like. He gets 2 likes on each comment. Why has masculinity... Look, somebody asked, why has masculinity in men... Oh, God. Why has masculinity in men declined over generations, someone asked. And he wrote, oh, yes, this is Frederick Christie, sociology graduate. I just wanted to say, given how many, here's his answer. Given how many temper tantrums are being thrown about even the slightest perceived threat to it, no. I'm a man. I've always thought of myself as a man. To me, being a good man means being a good person. So that means embracing the ethics of someone like Dr. King, not Charles Manson. Oh, God. It means being a true knight, not a thug. Oh, interesting. You used the word thug, a little racist. For many Jews, being a man is tied in with that moment of a bar mitzvah. I'm sure he would pronounce that like really Hebrew. For the rest of us, that isn't the case. For many Westerners, being gay means to be less male. But for Romans, to be on top in sex made one more male. Yeah, Rome, like, was crazy. He gets, like, no likes, and he just writes these really, really long... Look at this. This guy thinks he's so clever. I mean, like I said, these are all from a year ago, so maybe he... Man, he keeps changing his bio. This one says, privilege activist and writer for social justice issues for Dusk magazine. This one says sociologist. This one says white privilege writer. What? That's what, you know, the thing with like the woke stuff is like, it's all so like just made up that they can just say anything. I'm a, you know what I am? I'm a sociologist. Oh, now I'm a white privilege scholar, which, like, how do you be a scholar of that? I'm actually a, check your privilege, scholar. Let's see. His answers are too long. I can't read them all. Oh, now he says he's an American anarchist. It's weird that it saved all these bio titles. I mean, I don't know this site that well, though, so... Yeah, I don't mean to be focusing on this random guy for the whole episode. But, you know, he's basically the person that I make fun of. I mean... all these people that are just on these type of sites and they're just like, I'm a writer. Actually, I should look up his book. I'm a writer. This is what I look like. He designs board games. Go figure. He does life coaching. Wow. Like these is... I've known a few guys like where they just claim to be everything. Like this guy has way too many things he says he does. Okay. You know someone is a fraud. Like, this guy is a fraud bullshitter. There was actually, I had a coworker at my company that doesn't work there anymore that was just like this. He said he was a musician. He said he was a comedian. No proof. I mean, he did say he played Billy Joel covers at, like, bars or something. But, like, when you just have this many things that you're saying, like, look at this. I'm a freelance hope warrior. What does that mean? I write novels and short stories. Does he? I bet he has all this shit like listed in his LinkedIn or something too. I write novels and short stories, write for video games, design board games, do inspirational speaking and life coaching, and generally try to just make the world just a little bit more pleasant. Email him at frchristie@ucdavis.edu. Yeah, you guys can go ahead and email him. I'm a freelance hope warrior. I guess he has like a movie, TV, and video game review site, guys. I don't think he's done anything. Yeah, this is 2017. I was kind of hoping for some more recent stuff. Maybe he's been busy like writing novels, and he's too he's too busy being a life coach right now, guys. All right, there's kind of nothing else here. Oh wait, where did I see his fucking novel at? Damn it. This isn't the guy I was talking about before about the fuck, where does Oh, I think it was up here. He has his links in here, guys. Or wait, I don't think he does have a link for his book. My debut novel, Soul Surgeon. Great title. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's good, but I mean, he just claims to be too many things. He just does. He should have had the link in here, because, like, I'm not going to find it. Ugh. Yeah, see, it's not going to be on anything, because it's too independent. Yeah, it doesn't even come up. I don't think he made it. This isn't him. No, this is a Christian book. See, I don't think he wrote this book. I'm just going to look his name up. Frederick Christie. Maybe he's not a real guy. Oh, this might be him on Twitter. Yep, this is him. I almost want to go back on Twitter and just like, oh man, this is really weird that he hasn't done anything in like at least 2 years. This is from 2019. I'm a little worried. I mean, he might be a bigger guy. He might have got COVID or something. You never know anymore. That is scary to think like. All right, let's look on LinkedIn. It's not coming up. He might not be alive anymore. Look, I'm sorry if he's dead. I don't mean to make fun of him because... And I'm only thinking that because, you know, COVID, and he might be a bigger guy. But I don't have any evidence that he's died or anything. So I'm just going to assume he didn't because that's going to make me feel too bad. But yeah, you know, maybe he's been busy being a freelance hope warrior. So he's a freelancer then. I think he just was trying to say, you know, if this is a real company. I don't think so. Anyway, this is just basically the type of person. It's really, that's why I was looking at this guy, because he's a type of person. Like I said, I just had a coworker like him. And he talked in that voice I was just doing. That was literally how he talked, this guy. And he was obsessed with the Big Lebowski. I used to do a voice on the podcast. That was him, basically. Where I would just, like, be a hipster guy, like, yeah, you know. Yeah, like, yeah, you know, just, I just, like, I'm a writer. And I just, like, I do not accept misgendering, okay? If you misgender me, then we're done, okay? Like, I'm gonna just wash my hands of you, okay? I'm a novelist. I'm a writer, like, I'll sometimes just, like, go out in the woods and I just write, you know? I'm a writer, okay? What do you write? Novels, pretty much, mostly. I like fantasy, sci-fi novels. Like, one of them's called, like, like, I have this new novel series. It's called Demon Warrior, and it's like about this demon guy that like is a warrior, and he like goes out and like, you know, he just
Goes out and he like is a demon. He like has powers and stuff. And he like goes all around. And he's like a warrior. Like he'll go out in battle and stuff. So he's like a demon too.
Oh wow, that sounds really like clever. All these guys with the independent books, like they all have like titles like where you know it sucks. Like every time you see a book, sometimes I can just tell by the artwork and the title of books. That, like, when you see an independent book and it has a title like that, you're like, this fucking sucks. Demon Warrior. Yeah, I have a new book. It's called Demon Warrior. It's just like, kind of crazy, you know. I have a book. It's like a demon warrior. So he's like a regular warrior, but he's like a demon. So he's like, you know how Ghost Rider is like from hell or whatever he is? It's like that. It's like a ripoff of Ghost. So it's a ripoff of Ghost Rider? No. He does ride a motorcycle, and he does have a skull head, and he is on fire, and he does, okay, yeah, it's Ghost Rider. I have a new, comic book coming out. It's called No Longer Humans. And it's about this group of humans that like got kind of mutated and got powers, and they're like in a group, and they went to this school with this guy called Teacher Y, and he's bald and he has a wheelchair, and he like gave him powers and stuff, and they're called used to be humans. And there's another guy that's like on the bad side of it with the same powers, but he's called Attracto. And then there's a one of the characters is called Beast Arene, and he has like claws and shit. Another guy's called Eye Man. Another guy is called well, the guy with Eye Man, he like shoots lasers out of his eye. And then there's a guy called Cold Guy, and he is like made of ice, and he like can make ice everywhere. Cold Guy. Anyway, they're called Used to Be Humans. So check that out. And yeah, check that out. That's coming out soon. Anyway, I want to apologize if that guy died. Whenever you see now, like after COVID, whenever you see someone wasn't active for like 2 years, you're like, oh fuck. And I mean, look, I wish the guy well. I hope the guy grew up a little bit and didn't become an armchair critic online, and he didn't start to claim he had 6 different professions. It's so weird that I know, like, me and my friend always talk about guys like this. It's always guys. Where they are like these sort of neckbeard type guys. They don't have to look like that. But they just like, I don't know. It's like they all have that Dunning-Kruger syndrome. I mean, there's always somebody at work like that, because they're literally, The Office, you know, is really accurate. People might think The Office is exaggerated in shows like that. But I mean, I would say a guy like that is kind of like the character of Dwight. And I guess, yeah, Michael Scott, but I'm thinking more of the British version, because in the British version, he was like a musician. He said he like wrote bad songs, and he like that part I think is funnier than the American, like the fact that he wrote songs and he thought he was like a rock star. Although, yeah, I guess in the American, when he wrote like Michael Scarn or him and Dwight are real. Like, there's guys like that everywhere. I mean, there are people like that. People might think, oh, they're exaggerating. Like, no one's that goofy after like middle school or something. No, there's definitely plenty of adult men that I've met that have the Dunning-Kruger effect, where they think they're clever as fuck, man. It's just like it's hard not to be delusional in life, like to a certain extent. Like, I always worry about that with comedy and with whatever I do, even my podcast. Like, but I think if you worry that you're like that, you probably aren't like that, because guys like a Michael Scott type, a Dwight type, like, think they know everything. They talk like they are actually like egotistical, you know? I don't know. You have to know, if you're listening, you have to know people like that. There has to be somebody like that you know. It's like I used to I was really quiet in like middle school, high school. But more like, I guess, towards when I'm thinking of like junior high, I would sit at the cafeteria with these guys that were all like that. They were all nerd guys that played like Magic or whatever. And they just all tried to like be a like douchey nerd. It's like a douchey nerd type. Like know it all, you know? Actually, like those types is what I'm talking about. Hopefully I made sense. And that's why I focused on this Frederick guy who could just call himself Fred, but no, he's calling himself Frederick. And he's got a lot of opinions. If you worked with this guy, you'd hear a lot of opinions. And you'd hear all about his novels. He might give them away. He might ask people to buy them. I had a ex-coworker that just gave, actually, I don't know, I just had a bunch of his books that he did with some friend of his. I don't know where they are now. They weren't that bad. He wasn't, he might have sort of been like that type a little bit. But I just don't like talking about that stuff to coworkers, you know? Anybody who brings up your hobbies at work like that, like, what is wrong with, like, I've never told any coworker I tried stand-up, or I never said can you imagine just going, yeah, I have a podcast if you want to. First of all, then you can't talk about work on your podcast. Why would you do that? Yeah, so don't be like that. Anybody listening, if you're thinking about being like that, you can't, that just happens. I don't know if people grow out of this. Do people ever grow out of that? I don't think so. I just kind of think you're like maybe a narcissist or there's something off with you. Maybe it might be on the spectrum thing too. I don't know. But maybe not. I don't think everybody, like if Elon Musk is like, if he has Asperger's like people say, he doesn't seem like that to me. He is smart. Like he isn't like a guy who makes board games and thinks he's like an author, Like I'm an author. No, you work at whatever you work at. That would be like me saying I'm a stand-up comedian. Like I don't say that because I'm not a working one. And, I don't know. Those guys are hilarious. Now I just laugh at them. But if you have to deal with them, it's pretty horrible. But yeah, anyway, thanks for listening, guys. And check out all my new game and movie reviews on WordPress. I'm published on WordPress.
And I have a Batman movie review, the new one with old Bobby Patterson, whatever it is. And check that out, guys. I have new geek reviews coming up. I got a geek YouTube channel, so check that out. Check that out.